Welcome to Stuck in My Mind podcast, the show where we dive into the mind of a regular guy on his road to self-discovery. You'll hear everyday people just like you share the latest topics, personal stories, and things they've learned along the way. And now, please welcome your host, Wise.
And welcome to another episode. I am your host, WIZE, and today I have a real special guest, man. This brother is one of the dopest people I've met since I've been doing this, and he's been doing this for years. He has an amazing voice. This brother, when he opens his mouth, you're gonna be like, oh my God. Welcome to the show, the Mr. Boom Shakalaka himself, Chris Bass. What's going on, brother?
Oh, man, and a hearty boom shakalaka to you, Wise, and to your followers, man. It is great to be here. Thank you for allowing me to come on here and free my mind.
Bro.
And Stuck in My Mind podcast.
Since I've met you, I've been like, I got to have Bass on my show because you're just an amazing dude, man. You come on, I met you through Bryant Snow doing Snowman in the Morning. We do your Boom Shakalaka section on Fridays, and then I started checking out your show, and I love watching your show because you just straight yourself, man. You don't put up no fronts. You just yourself, and you just love what you do. So I just come on, and I'm always in your chat sending you love, and you just send me the love right back, man. And I love that.
Well, Wise, that's how it should be. You know, in a personality-driven industry like radio or podcasting, coming from terrestrial radio myself, you just meet a lot of people who just don't want your best interest at heart. They don't want to help. And people like that, I don't know, I can't gravitate towards that. That's, as old folks used to say, that's bad juju where I come from. So I can't be around that. But the people who I've learned to love over the years and vice versa, because love, you have to earn that, man. You just can't get it overnight. It has to be trustworthy. And so certain people out here are just not like that. But the ones who are, you gravitate towards that, you feed off each other's energy, and you just benefit from that. We can't do it by ourselves. So if I can help you, because helping you helps me.
Yeah, and I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate everything, man. Like I said, I love listening to your show. And one of the funny things I love about your show is the dude that always tells you, start it over. And to me, that's hilarious. So I'll let you tell it.
Okay, yeah. First of all, you're going to soil your program by mentioning said person. So this guy I know named Walter, who's also a broadcaster, by the way, has done radio, and something's wrong with him. And, you know, some people just can't save. So he knows, as a broadcaster in particular, my show starts at 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and 2 p.m. on the West Coast. This fool comes in and wants me to start the whole show all over again. And he does get on my nerve, and I must say it works, because when I'm doing my show, when I do my baseline show on Fridays, once again, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, and 2 on the West Coast, I get a certain mindset going, like anything else when you start to perform and do a spoken word type of format. And this fool comes and wants me to start over. And so I realize he is the Joker to my Batman. He just likes to get on my nerve. I don't really care for him personally, but, you know, I try to, I guess he's just my cross to bear. So, yeah, I'm glad you get a kick out of it, because I certainly don't.
But like you said, you started on terrestrial radio. You've been doing this for a long time, man. How long actually have you been doing this?
Man, Wise, we're going on 30 years. We'll round it off.
Wow, 30 years.
Yeah.
And you said you started in terrestrial radio. Now you do. I see you do three shows. Probably do more, but I know of 3 shows that you do weekly.
Right.
The show you do on Friday that I'm always checking out. Then you also have one on Wednesday and Thursday. What are the other 2 shows about?
So CBI on Wednesday is called Chris Bass Interviews. It's me usually with a one-on-one format. I usually might add on the second person, but usually been one-on-one. And it's just a conversation for an hour. And as you know, as a host yourself, you want to make the guests feel comfortable, make them feel at ease, and hopefully might give information that they probably wouldn't have given before. That's how comfortable you make them. And reputation always precedes you as a host. So I think the key thing to do is to be yourself and try to find ways to ask questions where you're not trying to offend or unnerve and things of that nature. So with me, when I prep for my shows, it's 50% preparation and 50% improvisation. And that balance used to work for me. So that's every Wednesday. CBI Chris Bates interviews. That's also the same time on Fridays, 5 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Central, 2 p.m. on the West Coast. Then I do a multi-host show called Street News Now, SNN, Six Guys and You. And my guru, who's been in the business, a game changer, a guy named Lee Michaels, who was our fearless leader. So it's Lee Michaels, then it's Dr. Ron Ford, Professor Reggie Miles, Mike Love, Buck Weezy, and myself. And so we do a 6-man panel program, and we tackle issues of the day, and we chop it up, same with the system you use, and get comments to the comment section, and then go from there. And so it's just a lot of fun to be a part of that. When Lee Michaels is not away, well, when he's away, because he's usually the moderator and our quarterback, when he's not there, I'm the backup point guard. So I run point in his absence when he's not there. And it's usually 5 or whoever shows up, depending on the situation. But from that program and having known Lee and known of him before I met him, it's more than my honor to be his wingman and backup. And that's every Thursday night. That's 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Central, and 6 p.m. West Coast time. And then Baseline was my original signature show that you catch every Friday during that time. And it's just free your mind. Because when you free your mind, your yes always follows.
Yes, yes. So there's this thing you say that has me rolling, and it's explain to him where you came with this sweet baby Jesus 6 pounds 7 ounces.
Well, Wise, I tell you, I come from a religious background. I mean, I was raised Presbyterian. And I look back in my life when I was younger, I was raised in church. I was in church 3 days a week. Friday nights, we had youth in action. I was a part of the youth choir for Saturday morning practice. Of course, went to church on Sundays. We sung every fourth Sunday. I was also a junior deacon and junior acolyte. So me and Presbyterian grew up in church was my livelihood. So I do believe in God. So if I'm going to pray to God, let me pray to baby Jesus. In the beginning, and I just don't know. I don't know how much he weighed. I just say 6 pounds 7 ounces. And that's usually what I do before I start definitely doing certain programs, because certain people need prayer.
I agree with you. There's some people that do need prayer.
Yes, they do.
They need it. They definitely need it in their life.
Absolutely. So that's how that started. I remember talking to a few people. And don't get me wrong, certain people they want to bring it out of you. They want to get confrontational and they want to go toe to toe. And I try to be a peaceful brother. I think I was a monk in my former life. So I tried to be peaceful. So before I get into certain people, I prayed to baby Jesus 6 pounds 7 ounces. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you're absolutely right, because there's some people I know need Jesus at my job.
And they don't know, but it's maybe up to us to let them know that, look, you have salvation sometimes, and we'll try to work through this situation. But some people just look. I put it like this: I learned a long time ago that I believe communication is key, but some people just don't want to listen.
Oh yeah, some of them just they're stubborn. They know it all, so can't tell them anything.
Nope. Hell
and
no.
That's where you mess up. That's when you realize that, hey, life is lessons, man. Life is to learn. This is what we're here for. This is what
absolutely.
And this is my journey now. This is when I started podcasting. This was the beginning of my journey on this path and doing this. And I've been blessed to meet some amazing people like yourself, like Bryant, like Cole, and just the networking part of it has been amazing. Like people want to be like, oh, how much you making? That's not what I'm in. I'm not in it for that. I'm in it for the conversation, the education, because I've had some great guests on that have taught me things by speaking to them. And so for me, it's beneficial because I'm growing as a human being. I'm growing as a person, and that's what I get from my show. So being able to do my show and share it with other people, because at first I thought I was being selfish, me wanting to speak to my guests and learn from them and hear their stories and all that. And one of my guests pointed out, like, no, that's being selfless. Like, you're showing love to yourself, plus you're sharing it. So you're not hoarding it, you're sharing it with people.
Right.
So you're not being selfish. And for me, it was that really like made a lot of sense. That was like, yeah, I'm here to learn, I'm here to grow, and I've been blessed, man. I've been blessed to meet some great people.
It's a journey like anything else, and you have to understand that the journey gets more interesting the more you take the path. And so it's a matter of opening up your mind and your heart and your soul to learn, to grow, to get better. Every day that we're fortunate to wake up, we should be better than what we were the day before, as far as I'm concerned, because you have another chance to increase who you are and not decrease. And some of us get to a point where it becomes stagnant. You're in like a hamster in the wheel and you're going in one direction, where really, if you allow yourself to grow intellectually, you find yourself on journeys that you never thought you could take.
Yeah, absolutely, man. If you would have told me this 3 years ago that I would be doing this, nah, I didn't. This isn't something that I had envisioned. But now that it's here, it's opened up so many opportunities. It's opened up so many doors for me. Actually, I did a voiceover work for Cold. That was my first voiceover credit.
Oh, cool.
And just a couple of other things have been falling in place. But like I said, 3 years ago, I wouldn't have thought I would be in this position doing what I'm doing right now. And this life is just, it's funny that way. That's how life is, man. Things happen and doors open, and it's up to you to step out of that comfort zone and take those risks and take those leaps, because I feel like if you just sit back on the sideline, you're already failing.
True, but everybody's learning curve is different. So maybe you need to sit on the sideline for a little bit before you get a chance to start. And that's if you want to start. So that's a whole different mentality. Whatever your role is in life or the role you accept, maybe you're cool coming off the bench. Maybe you're cool being the sixth man in a situation, or sixth person. I don't want to offend anybody out there. But whatever your role is, as you want to become it, you have to strive for it. It's entirely up to you.
Yeah. Heck yeah. Oh man, yeah. So basically, you're in Chicago and you do a lot of stuff for the community, man, and especially with all the violence that's going on, and you're always having people come on and talk about it, and that's something that I really greatly admire about you, and that inspires me to do something the similar in my community. And what made you really get heavily involved and active in your community?
Well, I'm active through my brother Donovan Price, Pastor Donovan Price. I have him on my show every second hour, and I'm watching news like everybody else here locally, and I just realized there's just too much death. I used to work in corporate broadcasting and in the news department, in TV in particular. The line always said, "If it bleeds, it leads." As horrid as that may sound, it happens to be true. So I'm watching the news because I've been removed from corporate radio for a while now. And I'm watching like anybody else, and there's too much death and destruction in the streets. And we only get snippets of it because it's news. They have a half-hour format to bring to you. They got a lot to get in there information-wise. And so I reached out to Donovan Price, and I said, "Look, bro, I see what you're doing. I think you need a format to really go into the detail of what you go through, because he is the person that is on the scene when someone gets shot and killed, administering prayers and help for the families involved." And so, to me, a 15-second soundbite doesn't do it. When he's usually on with me on Fridays, he's usually there for a good 15, 20 minutes. So you get an in-depth analysis of what's really happening on the streets of Chicago. And watching him do his thing, I don't know if I could do it. There's a line in the movie Ray where he's talking to his not maybe his upcoming road manager Jeff, and they're on the Chitlin circuit, and Jeff's driving the bus. He talks about being in the war, and he says, "Seeing that much death ain't natural." And when I hear that line now, I think about my brother Donovan Price. I mean, that's a lot of death to go through on a weekly basis, and how you decompress from that. How do you try to get some form of normalcy? I don't think you do. I really don't. And I admire his ministry for what he does because it's needed. And to go a sidestep with that, it's when someone like Pastor Donovan Price is trying to get the ear of our mayor and the law enforcement here, and it's ignored. That right there is a travesty. That should at least be a conversation. And then I can understand his frustration because politics gets in the way of a lot of things, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent. And because of what I've seen on television and what I've seen through him, which is the reason why I have my segment with Pastor Donovan Price every Friday in my second hour of my baseline program.
Yeah, man. And so we met through a mutual friend, Brian Snow, and Brian is a great dude. He's really given me an opportunity to actually be a part of his show and do something that I love, which is talk about sports. And we met through him, and like I said, it's a blessing because I get to learn from him. I get to speak to you a lot, so I get to learn from you as well, and I get to soak up that knowledge from all the experience you guys have had doing this.
Mm-hmm.
So for me, I love that. That to me is great because where would I else could I get this knowledge from? Where else could I get access to so much experience to help me grow as a podcaster, as a media person, whatever. And like to me, this is priceless. Like these opportunities to be able to speak to you and to be able to work with Brian and work with Cole. Cole is an exception. He's an amazing executive producer.
Yes.
And so I'm learning so much. This is like you can't put a price on what I'm learning. It's just great to be able to associate with guys like y'all and learn from y'all because like I said, you can't be taught this anywhere else.
No, I agree. I think anybody's in a very blessed situation when they realize that they're blessed and very fortunate to, to tap someone on the shoulder, have a friendly ear, and help and assist. And like I said before in the beginning of the conversation, we can all do it together. Not everybody can do it because once again, it's ego driven. I can do it myself. I don't need you, stuff like that. Well, then later for you, do that for people who subscribe to have a philosophy. But I think, like for example, when I'm doing the show with Brian every Friday morning, 9:35 on East Coast time, into the Boom Shakalaka, I remember checking out you, Cole, let's see, Brian and myself. It was all four of us, and I said, that's a nice looking, like I said, it looked like, it reminded me of like the Four Horsemen in a roundabout way, media wise. And so that made me feel great because when you're around people who have a passion for what we do, did a genuine article, and you have that why. So I don't see why certain people should not help you. And they have every right to. We all have free will. Some people want to, try to take it with them. But, I learned a long time ago, dude, you can't take this with you. You have to impart it to somebody or certain people who want to embrace it. So meeting you through Brian and Cole is just, look, it's like Goodfellas. Hey, man, you tell me he's a good fellow. I'm already rock and rolling with him. So that's how I feel about you. You have access to me, and they help you out with. It's a no-brainer. And so that's as it should be from where I come from.
Yeah, and that's old school, man. I definitely appreciate that, man. Being able to have someone that I could consider a mentor who I can go to for advice. Like I said, because I didn't start off in media. This isn't my day job. My day job is I'm a table games dealer. I deal blackjack, craps, roulette, and so like I said, this right here is being able to to learn from you, your 30 plus experience. Brian's 30. Brian's been doing it for a long time. Cole with his like I said, it's to me, it's like when he offered me the opportunity, I'm like, hell yeah. I'm like, why wouldn't I? Why would I? I'd be a fool. But you got people that, like you said, think that I don't need nobody. I can do this myself. Nah, man. You need people to help you with this. Like you push people up and they push you up. You push each other up, and I'm realizing that in the community the networking that I'm doing, a lot of people, and it doesn't matter. It's black, white, whatever. It's been nothing but great people, and that's because of the energy I put out there. It's the vibe that I put out there that I want like-minded people. I want to associate with nothing but with that people that want the same thing I want. And then of course you always have people who, and you use this a lot. I love when you say this, is what is it? Tell 5 of your closest friends. What is it?
Oh yeah, when I advertise my program or baseline, I tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
And I love that because you have your haters out there, and they'll hate on you, and they'll say, but they're the ones they'll be watching every step you make. They watch everything you do. I'm like, yeah, keep watching.
Well, keep watching. The thing about certain people is that, see, we mentioned about Brian, Cole, and yourself. You're creative people. So creative people need an outlet. Even though this was not your destiny to begin with, look where you are now in your life to communicate. Communication is always key. And so there are certain people out there who are just not creatives. And it's not their fault. It's just not in their DNA. But they hate so much because they want to become something they probably cannot. If they just shut up and humble themselves and try to learn, they just might make a trajectory shift in their lives. But the hatred becomes so relevant that it's hard to get past. So you have these people who are just, well, I put it like this. From my experiences being in terrestrial radio, I firmly believe that a lot of these people need to go back to hell. I mean it sincerely. They've escaped hell. I think Satan been calling them for years. They're not going to respond. They need to go back to hell where they belong because they escaped. I am not in the mood to check people the back of their heads for the mark of the beast. I ain't got time for that.
Oh man, yes. All right, but so besides talking and radio and all that, what other interests do you have? Like what does bass do besides this?
Well, I admit that I'm into, superhero movies. I think that the industry really did a great job at that. Coming up in the day, I always go to the local Walgreens here in Chicago when I was a youth and look forward to the new comic books. Now to see it come to fruition through movies and animation, I love it. I think it's fantastic. So between that, I'm a sci-fi person. My greatest sci-fi TV of all time always been Doctor Who since I was a teenager. So I've always watched that for years, and anything I get my hands on when it comes to certain stories from movies and television, it's a great escape, especially if I like it a lot. And it has, like recently I saw on Showtime the series, The Man Who Fell to Earth. And I can't remember the brother's name because he has a.
I know you're talking about. He's an amazing actor. I've actually been wanting. I've been wanting to catch that. Is it good?
I highly recommend it.
Okay,
it's a game changer. It's everybody out there is checking this out. The Man Who Fell to Earth. You can go back and binge watch it on Showtime, whatever Showtime outlet you can get. I highly recommend it. It is a game changer. It is beyond good.
I'm gonna check it out. I know the actor who's in it. He's a real good actor. I enjoy his work.
Yeah, I can't think of it. Don't forget, I got.
No, yeah, it's not an easy name. His name is not an easy name to pronounce.
I call him Chewy because it starts off CHE something, but I've seen his work for years. He's been in American Gangster, and
yes, he actually played Denzel's brother in the movie.
That's right. He's also been in the Marvel movies. He was the one that taught Doctor Strange the mystic arts.
Yes, he was just in Doctor Strange in the multiverse.
Exactly.
Madness, yes.
Yes. So once I get his name, forgive me, I'm good with names sometimes, but I call him Chewy. But
He don't know. He doesn't have.
that.
That's saying. I know. That's his name is not easy to
Thank you.
say. It's
Right.
not easy name to say. I definitely, but I know who you're talking about. He's a really good actor. He's a wonderful actor. Yes.
Yes, he's lights out.
Oh yeah, definitely. So you're from Chicago, Bulls fan?
Was. Yeah, don't get me wrong. See, let me tell you something about being a Bulls fan. Before Michael Jordan arrived, it was just a sucky team, and it was just god awful. I remember, jeez, man, we could walk. This is when the original Chicago Stadium was there before they built the United Center. So we can walk in to the Chicago Stadium. I remember one time it was the Bulls versus the Supersonics. We walked in. We had like the nosebleed seats. By halftime, we were by the bench. You just walked down and was right by the Supersonics bench. That's how it was back in the day. But then, of course, they got Mike, and Mike changed the game, as we all know. And I remember telling some dudes, because I used to watch him play at North Carolina for his first, the 3 years he was there before he went pro. And I was like, dude, we got somebody, man. This dude can do it. And so you see what happened from there. But I was so glad we got him, man. The 6 rings, it was a fantastic run. And I, as a fan, you can't get that back, but very fortunate to have it unfold. I love seeing ESPN's 30 for 30, The Last Dance. Out of all the rumors came true. Watching that docu-series, I was like, see, you never know. And so when that happened, that just put for me, I'm glad for it to happen, because I think it shut down a lot of younger people who did not see Mike play. And on this LeBron James, don't get me wrong, everything's generational. Because I remember when I had hair, going to the barbershop, the older gentlemen talk about Bill Russell and Kareem and those guys. Yeah. And then when I was coming up, it was, Jordan and Magic, Isaiah Thomas, Mark Aguirre, Magic, those guys, everybody else, Larry Bird. So it's generational. So I don't knock generation for who they gravitate towards. But man, and then after Michael left, you saw what happened. Every time at the point, we're rebuilding. I mean, you rebuilding for 20 years plus.
I know the Knicks been rebuilding for forever.
Yeah, see, you know what I'm talking about.
Knicks been rebuilding forever. But listen, we haven't won a title since the 70s, man. Like we had our chance in the 90s, but we kept running into Mike. It was just, I remember. Oh man,
those are epic battles, man, between the Bulls and the Knicks.
Oh, listen, I used to love it. These would be some of the best, most physical games, man.
I totally agree.
But again, I'm not a Michael Jordan fan, but I give him his props. He's the best I've seen play.
Oh yeah.
I'm not knocking LeBron, but to me, the best I've seen play is Michael Jordan.
Yes.
And second, right close behind him, is Kobe Bryant.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So
those guys want to kill you, man. They want to reach into your heart and take your heart and show it beating in front of your face. Yeah, those are stone cold killers, man.
Yeah,
that's cold.
They tell so many stories of players talking smack to Mike, and then he just goes off, and then looks at him and just be like, "Shut up, bitch!" Like, yes. Tell your teammates you did this to them. Like,
oh, he was legendary for that. Legendary, man.
Explain to them why they just lost.
Those are good times. I'm not knocking the Bulls now. I think they're on the road to really seriously rebuilding, and it took a long time. But
they got some nice players, and they signed in DeRozan, and
yes,
if Lonzo Ball can stay healthy, they got a pretty good team.
No, I saw DeRozan this past season, man. He has one of the best mid-range games I ever seen, probably since Jordan, and I mean it sincerely.
Oh no, DeMar had a great year, man, last year. And re-signing Zach LaVine.
Yes.
And some of the play like Kobe White, he's pretty good. They got some talent on that team. Can they put it together? We'll see.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see. they're probably a player or two away from really doing some serious damage, I think, but they have a good core, which I've not seen in a long time.
And that's what I like about my Knicks, man. They got a nice young core. I like the fact that they brought in a point guard. We haven't had a point guard since Raymond Felton, man, and that's a long time ago. Yeah. And we haven't really had a true point guard for a while. And bringing in Jim Brunson, I felt that was a great move. Now, if we can get Donovan Mitchell and not give up a lot of our core young pieces,
yeah, I can see that. That'll be a good coup, Doc.
Oh, I would love it. Believe me, I would be loving it for my Knicks this year. But if they don't get them, I'm still happy with the core that they got, man. I just love sports.
Same here.
But Bates, man, it's been great. I love the fact that you came on. I appreciate you coming on, brother.
Thank you.
Like I said, you're someone I greatly admire, I deeply admire. I'm always checking out your show for, even if it's like half hour or whatever, but I'm checking it out because you just give some great vibes, man. You just come out and you be yourself. And I love that fact. And that's how I try to do my show, is just come out and just be myself and just have conversations and just let people come on and be themselves. And so I always check out your show because I could learn a couple of things. So I'm always checking it out. And I appreciate it, brother. I really do appreciate you coming on and chatting with me.
Well, Wise, this has been fun for me as well, brother. You know, you got a lot going for yourself. And like I said before, always learn. If any advice I have for anybody coming up in podcasting or any type of social media, learn, be yourself. Don't let the bastards get you down, and just continue the path that you're on, because it's your path and nobody else's.
Now it's time for you to just plug away, man. Let them know where they can find you, where they can listen to all three of your shows, everything.
Oh, well, thank you, sir. The best way to contact me is go to facebook.com and type in Chris Bass, CHRIS, B as in broadcasting, ASE. You'll see me. I have these exact shades on. I kept them for a long time. I think they look good on me. And you see me with a fedora hat. I think it's quite snazzy, quite dapper and debonair. You'll see like maybe 2,000 other Chris Basses. Don't rock and roll with them. No offense to them, but I am the original. Make sure you click on that and we can be friends. Catch all my social media platforms, and you get a chance to interact and enjoy. Because the key thing is the following, as I said earlier in the conversation, please go shout at the mountaintops. Tell 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies that Chris Bass will be in the air.
Yeah, definitely do that. Definitely let 5 of your friends and 8 of your enemies know that Chris Bass in there. And just let them know Stuck in My Mind is out there as well. Exactly. Thank you, brother. Appreciate it. Don't leave just yet. I'm going to say my shout outs and we're going to chat a little bit off air. All right. So now it is time for shout outs. Big shout out to my Real Wise fam, Brandy J, Poppy J. Love you guys. Big shout out to the boss lady, Fina. Love you, babe. Big shout out to the Snowman in the Morning crew, Brian Snow, Cole Johnson. Big shout out to my guest, Chris Bass, for coming through and sharing just being able to come over and talk to him, man. I love it. Thank you, man. And as always, a big, big shout out to all the essential workers out there. God bless y'all. Be safe. You know how the boy Wise does it. Peace out.
Thanks for listening. Listen on iTunes, Podbean, Spotify, and TuneIn. Find us on social media on Twitter at @wise_b_blunt, Instagram at @wise_b_blunt, and a Facebook fan page, www.facebook.com/wise76. Check back soon for new episodes. Until next time, peace out.